In this video, I'm going to share with you the paddle that I play with and tell you why I'm using this paddle and give you the benefits that I see in playing with this paddle. If we haven't met before, my name is Tony Roy. I am a professional pickleball coach as well as a senior professional pickleball player. That's why players who we work with want to know, hey, what paddle are you using? So I want to address that in this video. I've been playing with a lot of paddles recently, been circulating between different paddles. I've played with a Selkirk 002, which is a really nice paddle offered by Selkirk Labs. I played with some other paddles that have been sent to us to test out. But the paddle that I keep coming back to is this paddle right here, which is the Bantam, the new Bantam ALW-C. I'm playing with a 14.3 millimeter version of it. It's a Paddletek paddle that my good friend Stephanie Lane, my good friend and mixed doubles partner at the US Open, Stephanie Lane, let me borrow, and then I liked it, so she said stick with it. I've been playing with this paddle for, I want to say 3 months or so now, and we don't review paddles or don't give opinions on paddles until we play with them for a while, because we want to make sure that the paddles are well constructed. I can tell you that this paddle, edge guard is still solid, the faces still feel solid on here. I hit the ball pretty hard, and I'll show you in a second how the paddle performs out on the court. But this paddle has held up well. I don't have a, well, we do have an eraser. I don't tend to use it, so it looks a little bit gritty. You could take an eraser and clean it. All carbon paddles are going to have that kind of yellowing because of the, removing pieces of the ball every time you hit them. So you can tell that this paddle has a decent amount of grit by seeing that on here. You probably hear it too, that sound there. The paddle offers great feel and control, allowing me to reset when I'm in these tough positions, and I just got to get that ball over slowly. It also is really good with my volleys, allowing me nice feel and control on all of my volleys, whether it's a flat punch volley, also a roll volley with a good spin because it has nice grit on the paddle. If I want to spin it, I was a little high to spin, so I had to kind of rip it down, but basically nice spin on the ball, allowing me to generate good spin on my shots. I find that this paddle has a really good combination of power and control. I think those are words that sometimes are used by paddle companies. They can be a little bit misleading. I'm not suggesting the paddle companies are being misleading, but they're misleading because, like a power paddle in one company may be more control than a control paddle in another company. So that's where it gets a little bit confusing when you use it among, between companies. But I can tell you that this paddle gives me a good amount of power, but I don't feel like I'm sacrificing control. I feel like my thirds are good, my dinks are good, unless I mishit it, right? But the paddle itself is doing a really good job for me, and I've been really enjoying playing with this paddle. One note on this particular version on the Bantam is that it does have a short grip. My understanding is, even though this is an Anna Lee version, as you can probably see from there, she grabs it like this, so she basically puts her second hand on her backhand on here. So if you have a two-handed backhand, this short grip may not be for you. But if you need a longer grip paddle, I know that they have some versions of this type of paddle, this core and this face in different shapes, that'll probably suit your needs better. Another thing about this paddle is paddle weight is very important to us. I have a little bit of weight down here, but the paddle has really nice balanced feel in terms of getting it from side to side. Several of the paddles that we've been trying out lately hit the ball really nicely. I mean, they feel good, nice when they make contact, but you play a game or two with them, get super, you can feel your arm getting tired because they're head heavy, swing weight on the end. If you want to know more about swing weight, I'll put a video up here, you can check that out. But this paddle has really nice weight and has nice feedback. By feedback, what I mean is that the paddle tells me that what I'm doing. So it tells me when I hit nice and clean, it tells me when I'm off center. I know how far my ball is going to travel based on the type of response that I get from the paddle through my arm into my brain, obviously. So it's a nice feedback paddle as well. I find that several of the other paddles that we've been trying feel sort of wooden, meaning like, when you hit the ball, you hit the ball, right? But you can't really feel exactly what happened. And they have that kind of very wooden feel to them where they're not giving you a good feedback. This paddle, when it hits the ball really, like sits in the paddle and you get a nice feedback for it. This paddle is getting a lot more airtime these days. More players are coming around to it. It's just a really well-made paddle with really good qualities, really good characteristics as an overall pickleball paddle. That can be used by players at any level of the game. If you're interested in checking out this paddle, I'll put a link here and in the show notes. If we have a code, I'll put it down there as well, and probably up in the link as well. Use that at checkout if you would, please. It helps us continue to bring you great content like this. I'll put a video somewhere up here about optimizing your paddle, getting it ready to play with lead tape and things like that. So if you want to learn more about paddles and getting them ready to play your best pickleball, I'll put them up here. And if you're ready to join us inside Better Pickleball, come into the community. Join us in there, learn more about what we're doing, and keep improving your pickleball game. I'll see you next time.